Hey, yo, what is a cipher?
If you ain't got Jack Thriller, that gumbo ain't gonna taste right.
The knowledge of the cipher is to enlighten you.
Where you think the cipher come from? The gods. Cause you tried to jump the cipher and it goes this way.
Welcome to The Cipher, a weekly podcast bringing you talks with the most interesting figures in hip-hop and culture. I'm your host, Sean Sotaro. This is episode 221 with Jack Thriller. Jack Thriller is a comedian who most people know from his time doing funny, and often outrageous, interviews on 50 Cent's website, thisis50.com. He's talked to everyone from porn actors to fellow comedians to rap stars to athletes and beyond. But in addition to that, Jack is also a talented sketch comedian and writer, stand-up, and even a singer. He got his start working as a writer, warm-up act, and all-around right-hand man to comedian Little Duval before breaking out on his own and moving from Atlanta to New York City. 50 quickly noticed his popular skits, and soon Jack had become the website's breakout star. He quickly moved from the computer screen to the television screen, starring in several seasons of Nick Cannon's show Wild 'N Out, and his latest venture is a singing career. He's released a song with Nori and has shared the stage with Musiq Soulchild. We spoke to Jack Thriller at Crosstown Studios in Harlem. If you like the show, please check out our Patreon at patreon.com/theciphershow. Every new patron helps Josh keep his glass eye polished, and that thing is filthy right now. If you want to know any of the songs we're playing during this episode, visit theciphershow.com to find a complete list and the show notes. While you're there, sign up for our monthly newsletter to stay on top of what's going on with The Cipher. And now, here's the man who lost his eye in 50 different ways, Jack Thriller. Jack, thanks for coming through.
Hey, pleasure was all mine.
I wanted to start by talking about a part of what you've done that you don't really talk about a lot, which is the stuff with Gabriel Hart, the videos.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Versace, I love it. Versace, the top of my Audi.
Gabriel Hart has directed music videos for, among others, Migos, Gucci Mane, Nick Cannon, Ice Cube, and Future. Perhaps his best-known work is his 2009 clip for Young Jeezy's tribute to Barack Obama, My President.
So, one in particular, I rewatched last night the Jeezy's My President video, which you were, I don't know what your title, assistant director, co-director.
Yeah, I was an assistant director
on that.
Mm-hmm.
That is such a moment in time. Watching it actually reminded me of the vibe on election night. You had John Lewis in it. You had all these people. It was a rally, but happy, and caught this very post-election moment of people really feeling hopeful about Obama and people thinking he represented this kind of sea change.
President is black, my Lambo's blue, and I be goddamn if my rims ain't too.
While the My President video wasn't released until January 16, 2009, just days before Obama's inauguration, it was shot some months prior. Georgia Congressman John Lewis appears in the video. In the 60s, Lewis was, of course, the head of the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, or SNCC, and a leading figure in the civil rights movement.
Just curious what that video was like to put together, what your memories of it are.
Oh, my God. We had got these signs that were very significant to the civil rights movement, and with a lot of different words that it just expressed what it meant to black people as a whole to get a president like Barack Obama into office. It was just a really great song. It was a very... It was hopeful, meaning that, you know, we didn't really know if Barack Obama was going to actually win, but it would have been dope if he did.
You shot that before the election?
It was before the election.
Wow.
Yeah. And when it actually happened, you know, the song just meant that much more.
Right.
You know, I remember Barack getting elected and stuff, and he said in one of his speeches, "My president is black and my Lambo's blue." He quoted that out of the Jeezy song.
Yeah.
In my second term, I'm going with Young Jeezy. Michelle said, "Yeah." I sing that to her sometime.
And we were really blown away about that, because we was like, yo, we're a part of history.
Yeah.
This really signifies something something that people is going to really remember for the rest of our life. Because it ain't no telling when a president is going to be black again.
Right.
Or then again, it could. The next election, it might be a black person. You never know with the way things are going right now.
Right.
I mean, I think America's really open to whatever. But yeah, working on that music video, man, directing the likes of Nas and Young Jeezy at the time. I'm from Atlanta, so the energy of that he brought to the music game was amazing. I love Jeezy for a long time, ever since Trap or Die. You remember Trap or Die, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Oh yeah. It had a bunch of really great songs on there that made everybody. If you didn't sell dope, you was like, you know what? I think I could do this. I'm gonna go get a nick and I'm gonna turn it into a dime. Then I'm gonna re-up and then turn that 10 into 20 and da. So that's what Jeezy did he was like a president for the hood.
Right.
Yeah. So either way it go, it was just really a great experience working with him. But that's not the first video I even actually worked on. It was also I'll Be in the Sky with B.O.B. That was the first video that we ever did that was major.
Yeah.
Gabe and I, because we started off as doing stand-up comedy together.
I was wondering how you met him.
Yeah.
Okay, he was a comic first.
Yes, and he was horrible. He was god awful. But one thing that we did that he did really well was direct. We used to shoot skits and whatnot. We was doing that before all these internet
before
guys.
Your faux interview skits. And all that
all that.
Yeah.
Before all of that. Yeah, everybody before it was even popular. We was doing like little skits and selling the DVDs after our shows, and we got known all around Atlanta for that. And this other comedian named Lil Duval, he knew that we did that. He had just got this major DVD deal with this company called Mercury Entertainment, and he hired us to do the sketches for him and whatnot. Since that's what we did, so we acted in it, we directed it, and we shot it. And I was like, yo, Gabe, you kind of good at that. But I think that we probably could be shooting people music videos. So we started getting some of the locals in the hood that would see us at the comedy clubs and everything. Because in the comedy clubs, it ain't nothing but drug dealers, strippers, and rappers that come there. I mean, Ludacris used to host the comedy night.
Oh, wow.
Back when he was Chris Lover.
Chris Lover. Yeah.
Exactly.
Chris Lover in the house. My man Chris Latimer.
Before his rap career took off, Ludacris was a DJ at Atlanta radio station Hot 97.5 under the name Chris Lover.
And so it like a lot of up and comers and stuff. We would shoot their videos for him, and then we just got our big break in 2007 with Jeezy. After he had seen some of the videos that we did, he threw us a bone, and it's just been to have this really special song on there, which is My President is Black.
Wow.
Yeah, I've known Gabriel for years, man. We slept on bunk beds together as grown men.
Right.
And we pretty much traveled the country shooting music videos. And it's just amazing to see what he's doing now with his career, with his position up at Interscope and the head of their video department and, really making a name for himself. And he went on to do bigger videos, like one is really critically acclaimed, Versace before the Migos, and that took him out of here.
Wow. And so why did you stop working with him as a two-person team?
We actually, I wanted to focus more on being a stand-up because I really wanted to know how to shoot my. Only reason I was doing it because I wanted to know how to shoot my own stuff, and I wanted to be in the videos too. You know what I'm saying? So. You got to choose one.
Yeah.
You're going to either be behind the scenes or in front of the scenes. Not to say you can't do both, but if you want to be successful at something, I think you should put a little bit more focus into it.
Right.
And so what ended up happening, we shot a music video for The Lox and Fat Joe back in 2007. Back in 2007 called Chase That Paper.
Let's go. Just finding my drive. No time to stop. Chick with me, rolling up. Ain't nothing, I'm just trying to get my paper. We just trying to get our paper, man.
The song by the Lox extended crew D-Block and not actually featuring Fat Joe was called Get That Paper.
And being in, I had always heard if you want to know if you funny, you got to go to New York, man. If you want to make it as a stand-up comic, you got to go to New York. And it was my first time in New York while we were shooting these videos. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to call up one of my comedian buddies in New York and see if I can get on somebody's stage at night, tonight. Yeah. And I called up my boy Rob Stapleton, and he got me booked over at Dugout in Yankee Stadium. And I got this other, he booked me on this other show at Mocha's, which is about, ain't they on the next block from here? Yeah, it's in Harlem. Mocha's in Harlem. Yeah, and and I went to both of these clubs, and I did exceptionally well.
Oh, wow.
Exceptionally well. And on the Dugout show, I had went home with a groupie and everything. So I was like, you know what? I think I'm supposed to be here. Yeah.
Nice.
So I hit up my uncle that lives up here and everything, and he said that I could come stay with him. And I had 6 months to get my stuff together, and if I could make it work, I could stay.
Right.
And if I didn't, I had to go back home. So,
wow.
You know, when I came up here, I actually made it pop off in 4, and that's when I ended up meeting 50 Cent. And, you know, my life had changed forever, yeah. So that's how the Gabe thing, we just went our separate ways, man. And, you know, that's what he was supposed to be doing, and this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. And you acted in some videos, too. I saw you in the Crank That video.
Yes. Yeah, I was Superman inside that video.
Soldier boy, I been it. Why me crank it? Why me roll? Why me crank that soldier boy? Then Superman. Now why me crank that?
We'll link the video for Soulja Boy's Crank That Soulja Boy in the show notes.
I guess that song was already pretty big when you did the video for it.
Man, the song was humongous.
Yeah.
Check this out. I think I'm about maybe 26 at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And my nephews made the dance. They were in the video also. Like, they were on the road with Soulja Boy. They called Cash Camp. If you see in the video, like in his earlier videos, they're dancing behind him.
Lean to the left, now lean to the right. Throw that, show that, ready, now ride.
Cash Camp would eventually rename themselves Camp 22.
You know how, like, an artist would make a song and then some dancing kids make a dance to the song?
Right.
Those were my cousins. There was 4 of them. And they made this the dance to the song that became the official dance. And they got his song, I think it was like over 4 or 5 million views.
Mm-hmm.
This was when YouTube was like people were just starting to really get on to it as far as the whole rap culture goes and all that stuff. They care. And my cousin used to bug me about this shit all the time. Like, yo, this guy Soulja Boy, he's going to be really big. Keep in mind, I'm 10 years older than him. So all this shit sounds stupid. Like, and when I hear the song, I'm like, this shit is whack as fuck.
Right, steel drums and some snapping, like what's going on?
This ain't good. What is he even talking about? You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I'm listening to 50 Cent, Nas, and Kanye at the time, and Outkast. Like, it's a really big difference. And I think that's when the music game started changing too, right around this time, where you get all these pop bubblegummy type rap songs.
Right.
But they told me to just come check them out one day, and I didn't know that they were famous from the dance video they made for Soulja Boy. So they asked me to come to one of their shows, and I came to the show, and all these little girls was going crazy over me as if they were B2K or Michael Jackson. And it confused me. I was blown away. I said, hold on, time the fuck out. I got to pay attention to this. I'm about to miss a wave. And I got a chance to meet the boy, the Soulja Boy. And he was he was a little boy. He's a boy. He's a kid. And, you know, they all having fun. Really not my cup of tea because I'm old. I'm 26. So, you know, I don't really get it, but I'm trying to because I don't want to miss nothing and become the old guy.
Right.
Because I saw that's where my life was starting to go because I'm saying that this I'm too old for this shit. When I said it, I was like, okay, I'm too old for it. I found out when the video shoot was going to be. And I was like, I need to be Superman in this video. I went to a costume store and I bought a Superman outfit. And I thought I was going to go to the audition and it was going to be 1,001 Supermans there trying to be Superman, but it wasn't. I was the only one with a Superman outfit. I went fully dressed and
To the
everything
audition.
to the audition.
Wow.
And as soon as I walked in the door past the line of people that was auditioning, they was like, "Hey, that's him. That's Superman right there. Come on up." And as soon as I just walked in with my outfit on, and I was like, "Oh, okay. How much I get paid?" They gave me $500 and some and some candy.
Right.
And I was so happy, and I took it. I left there, came back to the video shoot, and the rest was history.
Yeah,
The rest was history. Like, was it like the most viewed video on YouTube of all time or some shit?
it was
outside
up
of
there at
Gundam
the
Style.
time. Yeah.
It's time to do my dance. It's time to do my dance. It's time to do
As of this writing, the Crank That video has nearly 313 million views. However, it was not one of the top 5 most viewed videos in 2009, the year it was posted. That honor belonged to music videos by Guns N' Roses, Lady Gaga, Taylor Swift, System of a Down, and A Really Crazy Frog.
I didn't realize your family connection to
Yeah.
Soulja Boy.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
You obviously really got into stand-up, was kind of your jumping off point,
Yeah.
which you started maybe 17, something like that.
Yeah, 17 years
Yeah.
old.
So what does a 17-year-old do stand-up about?
Pussy. Trying to get more pussy. And, that's what I was talking about at the time. I just had a whole bunch of some stories that were true and a lot of things that I wish had happened. Just making up stuff. And it was at the Chris Tucker Comedy Club, too.
Oh.
I had got inspired to do stand-up when going to go see the Kings of Comedy.
Right.
The Kings of Comedy was a 2000 concert tour featuring Steve Harvey, D.L. Hewley, Cedric the Entertainer, and Bernie Mac. There was a film of the tour directed by Spike Lee, and it inspired numerous spin-offs.
I was 17 years old, and a friend of mine, she worked at Phillips Arena, and the Kings of Comedy had came, and I was like, "Hey, can you give me some tickets to the Kings of Comedy?" And she didn't give me no tickets. She gave me her badge, her work badge.
Oh.
And she's a woman, so my name was Tandrita Ball. And I walked right through the back door because I was always very daring. I mean, you can get me to do anything. Back then, I not do it. I didn't know. I didn't care how hard it was to walk through that employee door and to get to those seats. I made it happen. And I sat down and I was so captivated watching Bernie Mac and Steve Harvey, Cedric the Entertainer, D.L. Hughley, J. Anthony Brown do their thing to the point where I had to come back again the next night. Yeah. And I was like, wow, that's what I am. This is what I am. And I started doing a stand-up. First, I started off with like a part of a 2-man team.
Mm-hmm.
At the time, my name was Honey Bun.
Right.
It was Honey Buns with a Z because the Z make it masculine. You know what I'm saying? And so all of my friends hated it.
Right. I saw the
rappers
video of you
hate
getting clowned on for
Oh,
it.
you saw it?
Yeah, I saw
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Hey, man.
Honey bun.
Hey, not no fruits ain't going for
Why you saying it like that?
They might let you color motherfucker that you be one of them.
I say HB, man.
HB.
HB.
They hated it. They hated it to the point because they thought that they would it was gay to be called myself Honey Bun and whatnot. And I thought it was. I just thought it was funny.
You thought it was memorable, I think. Right?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I thought it would be memorable.
Yeah.
And like a big guy that's very masculine, named Honey Buns. I thought that I could really stand out, and I did. It worked. And I ended up changing it before I moved up to New York,
right,
and whatnot. Like, matter of fact, I think my last the last time I even called myself Honey Bun was the nights I told you that I came to New York and did stand up.
Right.
Because when I let them introduce me as Honey Buns up here, they were like, they was just going on too long
right,
about my name before and after I got off stage to the point where I was like, I don't think the girls are gonna like me very much. I'm keep on calling myself Honey Bun. And then it was at a point too when Atlanta was being known for a lot of homosexuality. So a lot of people was up here was like, yeah, he's got to be gay.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just making things weird for me because I'm not gay. And I know that I have anything against gay people, but I'm not gay. So, and a lot of people that I hang around are not gay. So I was making them uncomfortable. because they didn't know what was going on, but I was just being myself.
Right.
Yeah.
So while the stand-up stuff you're doing is going on, you have this like position that exists in the comedy world that I hadn't really thought much about, which is you're working with Lil Duval as kind of his everything, right? You do writing for him, you travel with him, you open for him,
personal assistant,
everything,
bodyguard,
And so that I'm guessing that happens a lot in the comedy world because I see people who tour a lot and they always tend to have the same opener with
That's
them.
exactly what's going on.
Yeah,
that's exactly what's going on when you see that consistent person that's always with this person. They're writing for them, and they're doing personal assistant. And that's usually the people that they feel the most comfortable around. Because a lot of comedians, contrary to popular belief, are loners, hardcore loners. And they don't really have friends like me. And I bet you're probably looking at me right now and saying, that sounds ridiculous. Like, everybody likes you. And when I see you with people and stuff like that. But just because I'm with them don't mean they with me. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so sometimes you out doing things and being sociable, and that's what you got to do these days in order to find that right hand to shake that change your life.
Right.
So you'll find yourself in certain circles that you probably wouldn't be in if you wasn't trying to figure out what the hell is going on out in these streets.
Yeah. So what was that all-encompassing job like working with him for so long?
Lil Duval, it's the gift and the curse, man. Because Lil Duval is a very hard person to deal with. He has a very strong personality.
I'm from the streets. It's just like that song say, we grew up being thugs, but nobody did that because we was trying to be thugs. It just was a part of the world of it. So I didn't.
And I have a very strong personality. So we argued a lot. And but most of the time, he's gonna win the argument because
he's the boss for one thing.
He's the boss. Yeah. And he always brung up something, the same thing that 50 brings up whenever I try to argue with him about something. Lil Duval said, so let me ask you this, how much money you got? And that measure up if I'm right or wrong. And apparently he got more money than me. So so he right.
So he's right.
And I'm doing something completely wrong in my life.
Right.
Yeah. And so it was hard, but at the same time, I learned a lot from being with Lil Duval, man. I learned how to handle myself, and it really it showed me how to be Jack Thriller and how to move around inside of the business and not get jerked, because I've never seen him get jerked before. Nobody's ever jerked him, and nobody don't jerk me. He taught me how to read in between the lines. You know what I'm saying? And recognize when people aren't saying exactly what they're supposed to be saying or what they want you to think they're saying.
Makes sense. One of the things you talked about with stand-up that I hadn't even thought of, but I thought was so fascinating was like...
I fascinated you.
You did.
Okay.
You obviously were a Southern comic who came to New York, and that worked one way. But you said, I've seen New York comics go down south and bomb because the type of ethnic humor they do doesn't translate.
It doesn't translate.
Yeah. The jokes about Puerto Ricans and Dominicans or West Indians or whatever that someone who lives in New York takes for granted just doesn't work down south.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of comics from New York go bite the dust in Atlanta and just a lot of different places. You have to, I think one of the first rules of knowing comedy is being true to yourself. Talk about you. And then another thing, you got to know your audience. Know your audience. Who's in your audience,
Yeah. And
that can be kind of rough for a comedian too, because most of the comedians out here have what we call a set. Something, a routine or whatever, and that we do all the time. So if you have this routine that you've been practicing for years, you got all these different ethnic jokes going on, you probably are going to do that in different places. You just have to find a way to do these ethnic jokes to a point where there's scenarios that everybody can relate to. And I think that's where you'll be able to win. But if you do the typical stuff, the typical, what we like to call in the comedy world, stock meaning generic things that everybody does, you're going to lose. You're going to lose. They like it up here because, like I said before, it's a melting pot. You got your Spanish, Jamaicans, Dominicans, Puerto Ricans, Chinese and all that, but it ain't like that everywhere.
Right. You were saying that in a lot of the country, it's black and white and maybe Mexican if you stretch it a little bit.
Yeah, most definitely. When I said this to you?
No, just other interviews.
Wow. Oh, like you know everything. yeah. That's exactly how it is. And most of the people that hang out with each other up here, with the inside of the melting pot, because everybody's open up here. But if you go to different places, people just hang out with their races and who they hang out with.
Mm.
You know, and it sounds crazy, right?
Yeah.
But it just is what it is.
Yeah.
Up here, it's like everybody's free. It's way more liberal here.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Well, you would know that you grew up in small town Georgia.
Exactly.
Right?
Albany, Georgia.
Yeah.
Yeah, Albany, Georgia. Then I moved to Atlanta, Georgia, and stayed in Huntsville, Alabama for a little while, Decatur, Alabama, and back to Atlanta, and from Atlanta to here.
Wow. That first move, Albany to Atlanta, you're maybe 12, 13. What was that like?
I'm 7.
You were that?
7.
Oh, you were that young. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was very much of a culture shock because I lived on a farm.
Oh, wow.
With geese and hogs and all that other shit, man. So I did real chores,
mm-hmm.
Feeding animals and billing chicken coops and slaughtering hogs and stuff at a very young age.
Mm.
So it was just, life was so mundane. And, it felt like every day was like watching paint.
Mm.
And it's funny to remember all of this at 7 and 6 and 5, just bored out of my mind with my life. Because you watch TV and it's all these buildings and cities and stuff like that and these different kinds of people and you want to go there.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you get up and you finally got a chance to do it and you go to a city like Atlanta where you see buildings and you got these cool public schools and everybody got these different nice clothes and stuff, it's amazing, man. I felt like Jed Clampett going to Beverly Hills,
I would imagine.
Yeah.
And you did some theater.
Yes, I
as
did.
a kid, right?
Yep. And when I was 12 years old,
mm-hmm.
My mom had remarried this guy named David Hatch, and he had a gospel play called "A Will to Survive," and it was my first time actually ever being inside some performing arts and whatnot, and we had rerun from What's Happening in the play. And I loved a rerun on What's Happening.
Mm.
I was always spending a lot of time in trouble and stuff, so I would get sent home a lot. And at noon on BET, they would always play reruns of What's Happening. So I knew the show very well, even though it was 70s and I grew up in the 80s.
Right.
When I met the guy, I was very starstruck. He came to our house and he sat at the table. and I asked him where he lived, and I'll never forget this. He looked me dead in my one good eye
mm-hmm.
and said, "None of your goddamn business." I was heartbroken.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Your first meeting a star.
Yeah, that was my first time ever meeting a star, and yeah, it was. It wasn't what I thought it was gonna be.
Did you do plays other than that, or did that?
Yes,
one
I
run a long time?
did. Yeah. I did another play after that. Bishop Eddie Long.
Oh wow!
You remember him?
Yeah.
It seems like we're always going against the grain, fighting upstream.
Eddie Long was the pastor of the Atlanta area megachurch New Birth Missionary Baptist. He was a controversial figure, on one hand presiding over a congregation of over 25,000 people and even officiating Coretta Scott King's funeral, and on the other, hounded by accusations of sexual impropriety and sexual abuse of minors. He died of cancer in January 2017.
Yeah, he had I stayed, when I was living in Atlanta, I stayed next door to New Birth Ministry Baptist Church.
Mm.
And he had a play that I auditioned for called For Better or For Worse.
Mm-hmm.
And Montel Jordan was in the play. I was in the play with Montel Jordan and Dave Tolliver from Men at Large.
Mm.
It was very surreal.
Wow.
Yeah. I think I'm 19 or something like that at this time. So it was a big deal for me.
So he was already Montel Jordan at that point. He had his hit.
He had his heyday already.
Yeah.
That was done. And
this was on the way down.
Yeah, it was way down. But he still looked like the same guy. This is how we do. He looked just like that. And somebody that came to see him at the play that blew my fucking mind was Lex Luger. Lex Luger came to the play and he was backstage with us, and I was starstruck again.
Lex Luger, as I'm sure you know, is a former professional wrestler who had a stellar career in both the WCW and the league then known as the WWF.
But yeah, he didn't say nothing crazy to me. But one thing that was interesting and very heartbreaking, Lex Luger was on a walker.
Oh.
All the steroid. And he was big as a fucking horse.
Right.
But he was like damn near crippled because of the steroids. Can you believe that?
So sad.
Yeah. But I still got past that.
Of course.
And was like, whoa.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was in the play for about I want to say a year.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Crazy. Did that tour or?
Yeah, we toured. We toured for about a year. So I'm like, yeah, we toured for like a year. Yeah.
Wow. You already have this taste for entertainment between the plays and the stand-up and all that.
And music videos.
Right, and doing music
And I'm taking acting classes with a PAN, Premier Art Network. There's some cool people that came out of my acting class, too.
Oh, yeah? Who else was there?
DC Young Fly and Emmanuel Hudson from Wildin' Out.
Oh.
All these people came after me.
Right.
And they would tell me that they was inside the acting class when I would see them on Wildin' Out.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
They were like they was in the same class and they used to talk about me all the time.
Nice. The thing that jumped stuff off for you were the re-edited interview skits.
Oh, yeah.
Do herpes hurt? It's no way of, explaining, the hurt. Did the herpes make you cry? That was the reason I cried so many nights. Are you having an outbreak right now as we're speaking? Yeah. Would you fuck Nicki Minaj? Definitely. With them herpes? Yeah. Let me ask you something. Why the fuck would you beat, electrocute, drown, and shoot dogs? It was fun and it was exciting. So you need a gospel ass whooping. You need your ass whooped in the name of Jesus.
That was when I first moved here.
Yeah.
Like I'm a couple days in.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to figure out how am I going to conquer this big place they call New York. And I met up with this guy named Chris Alvarez and this other guy named Ali Allen. And there was a videographer and a editor. Mm-hmm. And they seen all the skits that I had done with Lil Duval. And they was like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Can we shoot for you? We'll do it for free. Just want to put our name on it and da-da-da. And I was like, hey, this is yeah, most definitely. That's exactly what I want to do.
Yeah.
I had nothing to lose and I didn't know where to start.
Right.
So we shot something because I moved here on August 6th of 2009. And we shot this skit August 10th. And August 20th, it went viral.
Which one was that?
It was Michael Vick.
The re-edited interview with Vic,
mm-hmm. It went viral and everybody started like recognizing my face and stuff. And one of the sites that picked it up was thisis50.com. Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. And that sort of started the whole
That's what started
connection.
it all off. And I was like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
Amazing.
Yeah.
How'd you get the idea to do that kind of skit in the first place? Had you done similar stuff with Duval?
Yes, we shot a skit with R. Kelly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We did the same style. And I wrote for that skit with him.
Do not listen to the people that was fired. Don't even listen to the people that was hired.
That doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't matter.
So there's no issue here. That's what you're telling us. There's no problem. You don't like teenage girls. You got 19-year-old friends. And that's it. That's what you telling them.
Depends on who you say they're all and what they're saying.
And I was like, man, shit, I don't know what to shoot up here, so let me just go back to the basics and do what I do now. I know off the rip something nice and easy we can do in this room real quick. Y'all got a green screen? Okay, let's do it. Watched a couple of interviews. This was like hot. I think he had just gotten out of jail. And the rest is history.
What was it like first coming on to This Is 50 as not a rapper, but as a comedian and trying to figure out what was going on?
I felt so special. I felt like
you were the only person doing that.
And I was the only one doing it. And I created a lane that was really magical. I was working next to a guy that I had set out to meet. And it was just surreal. I just couldn't believe it.
And from what I remember that period, I was only up to the office once, but he was actually 50 was there. It's not like the office was for show.
Yeah, right? Is that freaky or what?
Yeah.
And he's damn near there every day. Really doing business, taking phone calls.
Yeah.
and
getting haircuts.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
What did you learn from him by being that close to him for so long?
One thing he always said to me, yo, Jack, put yourself on, man. And I learned how to just be independent. He gave me free range. He said his specific words, use my name but don't abuse my name, and get yourself out there and figure it out. I remember it was some rapper that was hot at the time, and I was hating on him because I ain't like the song.
Right.
And then he was like, yo, you need to figure out why he popping and apply that to your life. And that's what I've been doing ever since then, is stop preparing myself and just running my own race.
That's great. When did the actual interviews, not the re-edited skit interviews, how did that work its way into what you were doing?
One day, the person that they normally had doing interviews, her name was Miss Mimi. She did this segment on Sirius Satellite Radio on the Gomez Brothers. She couldn't make it to interview a porn star. And he just asked me, do I want to interview Lisa Ann? And I was like, hell yeah, I want to interview Lisa Ann. I've been jacking off to her for years. And we did it.
You all saw the picture of it online too.
I didn't see it. I wasn't looking. Well, let me ask you, touch my dick. And was my dick and his dick about the same size?
No.
My dick is smaller than his?
Yours is bigger.
It's bigger?
No.
The shit was platinum. It was magical. Lisa Ann let me finger her and suck her titty because, nobody else was gonna ask to suck Lisa Ann titty or ask could they finger Lisa Ann in no damn interview. And Lady was like, yo, we need to get Jack to do all the interviews. And I just started doing that. But I was doing it from a fan's perspective, and that's what makes my interviews unique. And I said things that was actually on my mind, and I wasn't timid. I was just like, "You want to fuck?" If that was on my mind, I'd say that shit to him. I said it, and that's how the interview started.
Wow.
Yeah, just simple as that.
You did a ton with them. What was your process going into them? How would you prepare?
I wouldn't. There's no preparation at all for going into the interviews. I just say whatever I want to say and did whatever I wanted to do. And all I needed to know was who the person was. They'll give me like a basic overview of like little talking points things that they wanted to get out, right, or they probably were known for. And I'd read that little sheet and then just go.
Right.
It's nothing.
And over time, your interviews start getting longer and longer. They're like 3-4 minutes at first. By the end, they're 12-15 minutes.
Yeah, I wanted to, I said hit it and quit it myself. Get a nice little 3 to 4 to 5 minute interview. But everybody started wanting more and more. And that's how we started adding on more time. I thought that less is more and tried to treat the interview like I do stand up. You know what I'm saying?
You got a tight 5.
Tight 5. I'm going to give him a tight 5. Get like that. Pow, pow. Hit him. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
Joke. Okay, yeah, I'm coming out. Anything else you want to say before you get out of here? Boom.
But then eventually it became longer form.
Exactly.
Yeah. One of the interviews that I did want to ask you about was one of the early ones you did that it looked great. It was, very informative, but I'm curious what the actual situation was like. And that was interviewing Lil Peanut, the 7-year-old rapper.
Cool, man, Peanut. So how long you been rapping, man?
I've been rapping since I was 4.
4 years old.
Yes, sir.
4 years old. So, like, what I'm saying, what got you into rapping? Like, what inspired you?
Well, a lot of things inspired me. It was the rappers that inspired me. Like a lot of big fame rappers, and, that's...
Why was that one interesting for you?
Just because it's like trying to interview a kid.
Oh, okay. You know what? Now you just brought back a memory. Oh, yeah, it was because they had like put the pressure on me going into the interview. Now that I remember, because this is back at I think 11 or something.
Yeah, and
they was telling me all the things that I can't say because it's a kid and all. I'm like, I know how to talk to kids. Yeah, I'm not going to curse in front of the kids or say no crazy shit in front of the kids. I can do a regular interview.
Yeah.
And, that's all it was. We're just trying to, I was in my head a lot the whole interview, trying to make sure I said some things that was fun and then tried to put myself inside of a Muppet's place. You know what I'm saying? Like, what would Big Bird say to Lil Peanut?
Right.
Yeah.
And why was the Mike Tyson interview such a highlight for you?
I wanted to be Mike Tyson ever since I was a little boy.
You always be yourself when it's projected. I don't know anything. I don't look at white people. I just look from a human perspective, you know. And I know I'm conscious of my race, you know, but my consciousness supersedes my race of who I am and what I am and what's my journey in this society that, you know, produced me. Maybe if I want
He inspired me, man. And because I used to fight a lot in school because I got picked on by my eye.
Right.
And kids would try to jump me, and I'd knock all the kids out, and you know what I'm saying? And I just took a lot of things from Mike Tyson's fight. I would emulate him, and a lot of people say that I look like him too because I had muscles as a kid. And when I met him, man, I almost cried. Yeah. You know, he's just a really great guy. It was really nice to me, and it was everything that I thought it was going to be. I had just seen him like 2 days before on Broadway.
Oh, you saw the show Spike Lee directed.
Yes.
Yeah.
I saw that, and I was like, man, I'd love to interview Mike Tyson one day. And I had got the call like probably the next morning. Hey, you want to interview Mike Tyson? Yeah, yes, I do. And we went over there. We walked we took the train somewhere to his hotel, and it was such a long walk. We were sweating so hard when I got there. And yeah, we were actually interviewed him in his room. Yeah.
Yeah. So you mentioned growing up and being bullied growing up about the main thing being your eye. So you've said a couple different stories about your eye over the years.
Here you go.
Right? One is that, you know, you were blind in that eye from birth. One is, you know, something about getting stabbed in the eye in a dice game when you were 12. What's the deal? What's the real story? Don't worry, it's just between you and me. No one's listening.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay.
I had to make sure.
Yeah.
I was born blind in my left eye. I had congenital cataracts, and my eye wandered. So, you know, like later on in life, when I was 12, that actually did have my eye stabbed in the eye, and that's when I got a glass eye. Yeah,
okay, so both of those.
Both of those are true. I thought you was gonna give me one of the mother craziest stories where I said I was in a fishing accident and a hook got caught onto my eye and I snagged it out. And
you've used that one before?
Yeah, on my show that I used to have called So Disrespectful. Yeah. I would come up with a different eye story every week.
Now, a lot of y'all was wondering what happened to my eye. Well, I got hit by a truck and everything trying to save a baby deer, and when the truck hit me, my eye exploded on impact. Hey, it really happened.
Every week.
Okay. Yeah.
Nice. What's the best one? Is the fishing one?
I think the fishing one is the best one because kids like it, and it really shocks them. Oh my God.
Amazing. I want to talk about you in battle rap for a second, because it's a world you're in while not being a performer, except a few times you jokingly battled people, which all were very funny, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Pockets full of guacamole. Take your chicken dipper, guacamole. That's funny, ain't it? Who's laughing now? I take your chicken dipper and pass around. I'm a pastor now. Time to collect. I'm signing the checks. It's just a sign of respect.
I changed the way battle rap is promoted.
How's that?
You're talking about the time when I was battling all these different guys. And
Yeah. During the interview or sometimes separate. Yeah.
Yeah, but I was doing it on Instagram. We go back and forth with the battle rappers and stuff, and that's how they took that formula of battling each other, saying little crazy things and whatnot inside a little IG clip and whatnot, and start doing it just like that.
Yo, Smack, I'm calling you out, man. Rookies versus vets, nigga. You pick the one you want to be, man. Loser cut his beard off, and the other one take his eye out. Talking to you, motherfucker. I'm your daddy, nigga.
It helped increase sales in all different arenas of battle rap. Everybody that had that, whatever their genre was, they took that same formula and started promoting the same way I did that when I was battling Smack.
Wow, which is funny because you started as a joke.
Yeah, I started as a joke. Yeah.
Amazing. Tell me about the battle rap world. Why do you think you fit in there? Hosting an interview?
Didn't.
You didn't?
Didn't
you just sort of bulldozed in and...
Yeah. I didn't like battle rap at all. I just thought it was corny. I thought it was just really fucking corny. And I remember Beasley and Smack would invite me to the battle rap the battle rap events a lot.
There's only one league who delivers big boom events. The biggest event and the mecca of our culture is known as Summer Madness.
Troy, Smack White Mitchell, and Eric Beasley are co-owners of Ultimate Rap League, a rap battle league.
And everything, and I just never wanted to go. But finally, I decided to go to, they talked me into going to, I want to say it was Summer Madness, when Loaded Lux versus Calico.
Mm-hmm. You can hear Loaded Lux talk about that very battle on episode 63.
And I went there, and I was completely blown away that this was packed out the way it was packed out. And for these guys that has come up and talk about each other, hardly no women in there. No women in there, so I didn't like that part. But it was just the energy in there was really great. Everybody knew who I was. And I was like, you know what, this might be a really good way to promote myself and stuff. And I started going to the event, standing on stage and stuff. And people would book me to host other battle raps. I was like, wow, who knew?
Yeah.
Who knew? And I would go to the events after that and everything. And just got more deeper and deeper into it. And, you know, it was what it was.
Some of the interviews I've seen where you fake battle the battle rappers are usually pretty funny. I think there was one, they did a round with you and then you just sort of dropped the mic and walked away.
I'm not going to rap. No, I'm not going to. Yo, it's over? This the first time you ever quit?
This is the first time you were quitting a battle.
I did it? Mama. Hey, hold on. Hey, can we do this over like I went first? Hey, listen. That was, listen. Is it over, man?
Oh, yeah. Those are very fun. I wouldn't mind doing that again.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't mind doing that again.
Yeah.
But I was younger then. I was hungrier. And it's just I don't know what it is about getting old. I don't know what it is. But it's hard for me to make myself feel like going to a battle rap again.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
Do you feel like that in the older you get? You just start not being as interested in certain things.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Like I'm getting invited to those all the time. Mm-hmm. People stop me down the streets of Harlem and wherever I go. Yo, what do you think about this battle? And what about that battle? And now I'm so far removed from it, I don't even know what they're talking about.
Right.
Yeah.
You hosted, though, speaking of battle raps, the Keith Murray, Fredro Starr thing.
Yeah. Yo, the most beautiful thing in this world is picking your girl. Yeah.
Keith Murray and Fredro Starr battled on October 4th, 2015 in Brooklyn after more than a year of build-up. Murray was sluggish and appeared to be under the influence and lost decisively. Not long after, he apologized, saying that he was on antihistamines for a cold, and they mixed poorly with the shot of alcohol he took before getting on stage.
Didn't host it. I was supposed to host it.
You were supposed to host it.
Yeah, the first time it happened was in Atlanta. We got flown down. They flew me down one way. They didn't have a flight for me to go back home.
Supposed to walk back? What have you?
Yeah, I didn't know what they told me to just trust them. That was stupid of me.
Mm-hmm.
I let these people bring me, even though it was my hometown, Atlanta. I stayed in the hotel. I didn't want to stay with my family.
Right.
I just was never that. And I'm not the guy that spends the night over his mom's house, you know, just in case I got some hoes coming over or something, you know. But anyway, they didn't, I didn't get the other half of my money. And I was kind of stranded down there. I had to make them fly me back home.
Mm-hmm.
So the battle never did happen in Atlanta. Then they tried to reschedule it. But they didn't. I needed the other half of my money. Then I needed some more money for this whole new situation.
Right.
And they didn't make that happen. So I forget who hosted it.
Yeah. Did you go to
But I went.
You went.
Yeah, I was there. I almost got into a fight with one of Keith Murray's friends out in front of the club. Yeah.
Over what?
He had said something to me that was kind of really crazy. And I started roasting him, and I think he said he was going to kill me. He was going to kill me. And it just saw red.
Mm-hmm.
And me and a couple of my homeboys that he didn't even know that was standing right there. We surrounded him, and we was about to knock his block off. And it was Keith Murray's cousin or some shit like that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, that battle obviously was famous for being a fiasco.
Yeah, right. And we had a lot of mutual friends, so we end up squashing it.
Mm-hmm.
Keith Murray had called his cousin and smacked him around or some shit like that. And everything was cool after that. Like, long as he's beat up, I don't mind.
Doesn't matter who does it.
Don't matter who does it.
Yeah. Wild Now, obviously something you did for a while.
And on the black team, Corey Holcomb, Carlos Miller, John Gabris, Jack Thriller, Natasha Rothwell, Rip Michaels, and their team captain, Bow Wow.
I did it for like, what, 4 seasons?
Yeah, for a long time.
Yeah.
So tell me about being on that show. Is everything actually improvised, even with the celebrity guests and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, it's improvisational comedy. Wild Out was a wonderful experience. I didn't want it to end. I remember the first night I was on there, and the show was over, and I stayed there right on stage. The lights were cut off and all that. I'm like, shit, this ain't gonna happen again till next year. What do I do to then? Yeah, I just really didn't want it to end. But what we do, we find out what games we're gonna play the day before, and we go to each other's, we meet up with each other in hotel rooms and stuff, and just bounce around ideas and everything, and come up with some really great skits to do. And so it's half and half.
Yeah. Were there things over the years that were too vicious that just didn't make it to air?
It's a lot of things. Yeah, I was the king of getting my stuff cut out.
Wow. What's one you remember that you can share with us?
Again, I guess I would say this last season, not this season right here that it's on right now, but because the last season when we were in LA, season 8, I had a lot of raps that I did that didn't make it. I was just saying some wild stuff. I really can't recall what I did. It was inside my phone, but I don't have that phone no more. The stuff that I had written for it, but it just didn't make TV.
Was any of it directed against the celebrity?
Nah,
guests?
I never disrespected the celebrities. I was always disrespecting the cast and stuff. Sometimes you really don't like somebody for real on the cast, and you try to embarrass them in real life. Yeah,
they steal your room service, and then you get them back.
Come on, exactly.
And you got some music going on.
Yeah, man, I got a project that I'm working on called Monogamously Promiscuous, and it's 8 tracks. The first lead single was Pour Up, featuring Nori.
It's a circle, shorty, just like a layup run. Ahead of the game, plus a nigga stay up one.
I heard she loved me, I hope she don't. So she gave me a heart, and now it's broke. And I told her, but she keep on singing that song. Keep singing.
Second single is All Night, featuring Axel Leon.
Say, girl, talk to me. We ain't gotta tell. We ain't got to tell nobody. Keep it on the low. I'm gonna put this on your body, and no one has to know. We can go all night.
I also have features from Nokio from Drew Hill, RL from Next, Chanel from Young Money, and I'm about to do something with Tank and Genuine.
Wow! So this is you mostly singing?
Yes, it's singing the whole way.
Wow! And how did your debut as a live singer go?
Oh, it was sold out. SOBs. Man, I had my tour bus out there, about like a 4-piece backup singers, in a 5-piece band. Yeah, it was amazing. People didn't like, a lot of people didn't know that I could do that, and it went really well. And I brought Music Soul Child out too. Oh yeah, he is on the project also. If I didn't say him,
that's awesome.
Yeah, I brought Music Soul Child out. So when I go back and I watch these videos, man, it really blows my mind that this happened.
Yeah.
And I keep saying it, like, yo, that happened.
So
that happened.
Any more plans for performances around?
Most definitely. On 24th at SOBs, I'm back there again.
All right.
Yep. I'm going to be back at SOBs on the 24th. And we're getting in the studio, recording some more music and everything. We're trying to get Buster to do this song with me. He says he's going to do it.
Wow.
Yeah, that's going to be great.
You do a bunch of different things, right? You have the
stand-up comedy,
you have singing, you have the various shows you're doing,
Party
the
and Bullshit.
16 or Better, Party and Bullshit, the sex room show.
Journalism,
yeah. So how do you bring Jack Thriller to all of that? What stays the same in all these different projects?
None of this shit work without me. You can duplicate all of it. But if you ain't got Jack Thriller, that gumbo ain't gonna taste right. But I'm somebody that I always wanted to do. I think of myself as a modern day Sammy Davis Jr.
Mm-hmm.
And Sammy Davis was really dope at everything, and he was really awesome. One thing that I'm trying to do right now that I think is gonna make everything a lot more easier and cooler for me. I'm getting in shape.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm getting in shape, man. I just lost 15 pounds recently.
Nice.
Trying to get down. I'm on 260, trying to get down to 220.
What's the plan?
My wife is a personal trainer.
Oh, that's a good plan.
Yeah, I just got married this year.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah. Valentine's Day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Valentine's Day will be our 1-year anniversary.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. It's really it's hard. Some days you want to be married, some days you don't.
Well, that actually brings me around to something else I wanted to touch on a little bit, which is for the interviews and in your shows and all this kind of stuff, you've dealt a lot with
women.
Well, yes, but people in sex work generally, right? People who are in porn or whatever.
Right.
I would say especially porn actors and actresses.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think you're comfortable doing that because you have a past as a dancer and you know that world a little bit, or at least knew it at some point?
I think that just because I'm a man,
mm-hmm.
and I think George Clinton said it best. Why must I be like that? Why must I chase the cat? Ain't nothing but the dog in me.
Why must I feel like that? Why must I chase the cat?
And so I matter of fact, I became a dancer, a stripper when I was 19, just to meet women. I wasn't stripping for money. I was stripping for pussy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I had it all the way fucked up. And whatever we do as guys, as men, I think a lot of times we doing it for women. We doing it for women. When you get a house or a apartment and everything, you ain't doing it because you want to stay there. You're doing it so you can bring some women over. When you go get a nice car, you're doing it for women. When you go get a job, you're doing it for women, because otherwise you probably would just be laying around, sleeping at your homeboy house, and just chilling, but just having fun, not really having any priorities. I think Jane Brown said it best. It's a man's world, but it ain't nothing without a woman, because it balances it out, and women keep you, they keep you on your toes, man. They keep you on your toes, and I just always been fascinated with the female species,
Yeah.
Ever since I was a little boy. I'm 5 years old. I remember trying to look under my teacher's dress, Miss Griffin. I didn't know what I wanted to do to that lady, but I knew I wanted to do something.
Right.
And those feelings just never left me. And so when I got a chance to actually talk to women and relate to them, I understood that the way to get to them is just to listen to them. And a lot of times, as guys, we don't listen to them. And a lot of guys are unsuccessful that don't get women because they don't listen. If you just ask her a couple of questions, you're gonna find out exactly what she wants, and you're gonna get exactly what you want from her. And you can do it too without lying. It's about just being attentive.
Right.
But when you ask enough questions, you can find out if they're even interested in you or not. I think that you shouldn't try to make somebody like you or trick somebody into liking you or manipulate them. Just move on, because it's a whole bunch of it's a million women that's gonna love you. And when I became somewhat of a pseudo celebrity and everything, I took advantage. Man. And I used women to get women. One thing about being married now too, this is what I noticed about it. Women love an unavailable man for some reason. I don't understand the concept of it. When I was single and they could have had me,
right?
Like they weren't there, and it's a lot of the women even that I would that probably had dogged me out too. And when I say dogged me out, they probably slept with me, and then they ended it off with me and just threw me to the side. Now that I'm committed to someone,
mm-hmm.
they coming back around and everything and want to talk to me and wonder why it didn't work out with us. One of my exes, like I was supposed to move in. We had planned on moving in together in January. But I was dating my wife at the same time when I met this girl. But this particular girl, my ex, she just wasn't as attentive as my wife was. So I just you see the difference between the real and the fake, and you just T-drone over there to the real. And my wife got down on one knee and confessed her love to me and proposed to me.
She proposed to you?
Yes. She proposed to me.
Wow.
Yeah, that's how I always fantasized about getting married too, that my wife had to propose to me. Whoever it was going to be had to propose to me.
Wow.
And she did that. And she's
Amazing.
gorgeous. Beautiful woman. Beautiful.
Amazing.
I just performed at Caroline's this past weekend. And I opened up for TK Kirkland, and he went on the Breakfast Club, and he was just talking about knowing me back in Atlanta when I was Honey Bun and everything, and how I had grown up. And one reason why he know that I'm doing really well and he's impressed by me is because I have a gorgeous wife. And he feels like I really listened to him and got it together.
For a while, maybe you still are, but you were managing a group that was sort of affiliated with Wild Now, the Psych Ward Druggies.
Yeah.
And we ride on these fools like it's groovy bass. Like we don't get hurt unless we use a tank. On AR-15, Uzi weighs a ton and a half. Crazy ace. Pulled your card and caught a spade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that still happening?
No. No. The Psych Ward Druggies were really managed by Nick Cannon. He was the manager. He wanted to keep that on the low because he wanted them to have a fair chance. Because, a lot of people don't think Nick Cannon's a good rapper. And, if he puts his name on something that's supposed to be considered to be a hip hop group, then, people will going to, not
skeptical.
really give it a chance.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so.
So you never actually managed them?
Yeah, I was the what you call it? A beard for them. Yeah.
I saw that they don't seem to be getting along.
No,
right
I don't
now.
think they are. I don't know. I don't even think they're together no more, are they?
I don't know. I saw that the group as a whole is not super excited about Nick Cannon right now, at least to judge from their Twitter account.
Really?
I just want happiness, I'm a simple man. Just want happiness, I'm a simple man. Nothing ahead for me goes according to plan.
This past August, the group tweeted, "Nick Cannon, sucks that you gave up on us."
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. What did they say?
It was some Twitter message about they were disappointed that they weren't together anymore, or that he had betrayed them in some way or something.
Well, I think that what happens inside situations like that, people be expecting you to move mountains and make something happen that ain't there.
Right.
And the expectations be a little bit too high.
I was going to ask about this. So you've been in a position where you've worked for two giant stars, internationally recognizable people in 50 Cent and Nick Cannon. How do you manage your own expectations with that? Where you're like, come on, can't you just make me famous like you're famous? Did you think that when you first were like, okay, well, this is my ticket, I'll just stand next to him and then I'll get on or whatever?
Not really. Because, see, I always wanted to do my own thing. So I just felt like, if I was inside the room and whatnot, and I was doing my own thing while I was inside the room, I was going to get the same love. And I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for Nick Cannon and 50 Cent, and I really appreciate them. They can only do so much for you, but then you have to go do the work.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They can say, hey, I fuck with him, you should fuck with him too. But that won't make people fuck with you.
Right.
You got to fuck with yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. You've spent a lot of time in comic world and hanging out with rappers. What are some similarities, some differences?
It's more gangsters in comedy than it is in rap. Could you believe that?
Wow.
Yeah.
How do you mean?
Well, being a comic is very cutthroat business. You can get jerked a lot. These clubs don't pay much. Comedians trying to get close to you and everything, see what you know, and stealing your jokes and going off and performing them in other towns, and hanging out with rappers. The whole game is just a lot of smoke and mirrors and stuff. So you have to pretty much just find yourself and know yourself, or you can get lost if you don't define yourself for yourself. I feel like before you get inside of this business, you definitely have to find yourself. Me hanging out with comedians, hanging out with rappers. I don't really hang out with comedians. I don't like comedians. I don't. They're very annoying people. I like my elders, elder comedians like You know, hanging out with, when I used to hang out with Charlotte Murphy, and he is, of course, Charlotte Murphy, wealth of knowledge, a lot of great stories. D.L. Hughley, man, fun guy to be around, so super smart. Who else? Yeah, pretty much everybody. You name them, they're my friend.
Right.
Rappers, I would say it's the same.
And as a comedian, and obviously someone who was in the black comedy world for a long time, how did you feel when Dick Gregory passed?
Dick Gregory was the first comedian that I saw at Caroline's when I moved up here, and I was in awe, and I felt like we had definitely lost one of the greatest comedians that ever walked this earth. I'm gonna tell you why he was so great, because he would say things that would make people socially aware and conscious in a time back in the 50s and 60s and stuff when you could lose your life for doing that. And comedians don't do that no more. Like some of the biggest comedians in the world, they ain't activists. It's all about the money once you get on. And I think that's what the game is missing. A lot of leaders.
Yeah. I don't want to name names. Maybe you can if you want, but you talked about stand-up comics who hit a certain point and then they stop telling jokes and just sort of talk. They become themselves. And because you think, hey, such and such person is funny, they get on stage and talk and people just laugh almost as a reflex. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, man. When you can get people to like you, like I guess you could say that about Kev. Kev don't have to be funny no more. Kevin's a funny guy. Kevin Hart, a very hilarious guy. Oh, but you know that people like Kevin because he's a great person. So yeah, he don't have to have no set no more. He could just go up there and be himself, and it is what it is because we already made up our mind that he's funny, and he don't have to prove nothing no more. And we should all be so lucky to get to that point where we don't have to prove nothing no more, and we can just say anything and it feel good to everybody. Like I even had a moment like that almost this weekend where I veered off my set, and I just started talking, and people were just laughing. I'm like, oh shit, they like me, and because I wasn't even saying things that was. They had no punchline. They were just interested in the things that I had to say. And I was like, I got to get that comedy Holy Ghost for real, and take this to another level so I can get to that point where I could just talk and I could be more socially conscious things that will really make people go home and think and become better people, teach their children better when it comes to racism or when it comes to your relationship, treating your wife better, treating your husband better. I would like to be that comic. I don't want to just go up there and just be saying shit just to be saying shit frivolously. And that's one thing that Patrice O'Neal told me. He said, Jack, don't say frivolous shit. Make sure that when you're saying something, doing comedy, you're saying things that's going to really affect people and be thought-provoking. Don't say frivolous shit. Have an opinion, but don't let your opinion have you. Yeah. And that's what I'm trying to do now.
So what else you got going on? We've talked about a bunch of stuff, all your shows and everything, and stand-up. What else is going on with Jack Twirler?
It looked like I might be on a new season of Love and Hip Hop New York, man, me and my wife.
Congratulations. Yeah. I know you've talked about being on that show for so many years and harassed Mona Scott so many times.
Yes.
I'm glad that might actually happen. That's great.
I'm talking to the right people right now, and it's looking very promising.
That's great.
Yeah. I need that 6 million people watching me every week and take my comedy career to another level, my music career, and get it popping, man. I won't be on that show.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Jack Twirler, for coming through.
Thank you for having me, man. This has been a really, really great podcast. And thank you for all those people that are listening to me. And thank you, God, for making me special.
I met Jack years ago at, unsurprisingly, a comedy club. I'm glad that I was finally able to have him on the show. I love getting a glimpse into the comedy world, and especially into what it was like working to support someone else before breaking away on your own. On top of that, hearing about Jack's experiences in music videos, both behind and in front of the camera, was awesome. I never knew Crank That had so much of a backstory. And seeing Jack's determination to make a name for himself on his own, even when he has the support of two huge stars in 50 Cent and Nick Cannon, is inspiring. Join us next week when our guest will be DJ Head. DJ Head was an important part of the Detroit hip-hop scene of the mid to late 90s, a scene that birthed perhaps the most important producer in hip-hop in J Dilla and one of its most important rappers in Eminem. DJ Head worked closely with them both. He was in the room when Dilla made some of his most iconic songs, and he produced and DJ'd for Eminem during M's meteoric rise. We hear about all that, plus a whole lot more. To make sure you hear each episode of The Cipher as soon as it comes out, subscribe on iTunes or whatever podcast app you use. Make sure you check out our archives when you're there. If you like this episode, you should listen to our interview with another very funny television host, Dr. Dre of Yo MTV Raps, on episode 185. By the way, if you use Apple's podcasts or iTunes to listen, go now and give us a rating and a review. It's by far the easiest way to help us out, which is why every podcast you listen to wants you to do it. Seriously, go now and do it. And you can really help us by becoming a patron. Visit us at patreon.com/theciphershow and sign up. Bringing you a weekly show takes at least 20 hours, and we could really use the support. If even 20% of you gave us just $1 a month, I could finally afford that crazy frog box set. As an added bonus for our patrons, every month we share bonus audio that we get from our guests, either while talking to them after the main interview is over, or sometimes when they give us some extra special material. We've had behind-the-scenes production moments, unreleased Wu-Tang, and all sorts of things you can never find anywhere else, even on our regular episodes. Join us by the end of October to have access to November's file. You can find us at The Cipher Show on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Follow us and let us know what you thought of this episode and who you'd like to see on the show in the future. More information about anything related to the podcast, playlists, our complete archives, and more can be found for free at theciphershow.com. The Cipher is created and written by Sean Sotaro.
There's no preparation at all for going into the interview.
The show is produced and engineered by Josh Cross at Crosstown Studios.
I was stripping for pussy.
Our music is by 42 Ghosts.
My name was Tandrita Ball.
Our web guru is Aaron Young.
And he was horrible.
Audio editing by Rob Van Vranken.
Then tried to put myself inside of a Muppet's place.
Our intern is Natalie Marr.
And she's a woman.
Special thanks to Patreon supporter Stephen Ward.
Give me $500 and some candy.
We'll see you next time around on The Cipher.
I'm very flexible, man.